It's funny. It's so funny when God has another plan for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned into Jaja's Mic. It's a pleasure to have you. Home of the world's toughest leaders. Today I got somebody special for you. I'm immensely excited because God has put on my heart a beautiful soul who I just so happened to bump into at church. Today's message is one that's truly going to touch a different aspect of leadership, one that we don't quite talk about too much. So without spilling out too much of the details, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Tamara.
Hi, my name is Tamara, and I'm a registered nurse. And last year, I was fortunate enough to be able to take one of the most phenomenal trips of my entire life. I was blessed to be able to take a mission trip. And the funny thing about it is it came about in a so unorthodox, out of the ordinary way. One afternoon, I was at the car wash cleaning out my car, and I happened to see the flyer in the backseat of my car. Didn't think too much about it, kind of just threw it to the side and kept going on about my business. Then I picked it back up again before I was throwing it in the trash, and I looked at it and it said, mission trip, needing nurses, needing teachers, needing anybody available or willing to be able to go. They were going to be gone for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and they were having the meeting that night. I read it a few more times, kind of thought about it, and then threw it in the trash. Didn't think anything else of it, and went on about my day just as nothing had happened. Later on that night, or that evening, I was in the store, and I was looking at cans, and I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I just couldn't stop thinking about that trip and what possibilities it could have possibly held. So I was looking at cans, I was looking at toothbrush, thinking these are things that I could take on the trip. These are things that I could possibly use if I were to go on the trip. But I just still played it out of my head. I was walking outside to the car, went from the grocery bags. I looked in my trunk and I saw a backpack. I was thinking, well, maybe I could take this backpack along, or I could take these things along. So many thoughts were going through my head about this mission trip. But I still played it down like, I don't have time for it. I don't have the resources for it. And I don't think I'm going to even like it. So I just went on about my day. I happened to pass by the church, like right at the exact time of the meeting. I looked at my watch and I said, well, what could it truly, really possibly hurt if I were to just walk in and just see what they had to say? So I parked at church, I walked in, and come to find out, when I walked in, they were saying that this was the very last day to even sign up for a mission trip, and they needed nurses. And in my head, I was like, is this really happening? Am I really here at this exact moment, at this exact time, where I'm supposed to be? Without any hesitation, I signed up. And before I knew it, within the next 30 minutes, I had a plane booked. I had a ticket. I had my luggage tags, and I was ready to go. I had my pamphlet, my manual about where we were going, and I had my backpack with all my medical supplies and everything, and I was already ready to go. It was official that day that I was supposed to be on that trip, and I was meant to go. Fast forward to 3 or 4 weeks later, when we were actually getting ready to board the plane, my dad was the one who actually dropped me off at the airport. And it's funny because my dad, he's not an emotional man. And I could see tears in his eyes this day of how proud he was that I was actually going somewhere to do something like this for other people who didn't have the resources or who didn't have the opportunities to see doctors. And he was just so proud of me, and it made me feel so good about myself. So we walk into the airport, and of course, I think I've got everything situated. I've got everything right. I've got my brand new fancy stethoscope. I've got about 6 or 7 scrubs packed in my bag and my luggage. I've got my neck wrap. I've got everything that I think that I'm going to need for this mission trip, that I'm going to go over there and I'm going to help them. But it's funny how God will place you in a position to where he will break you all the way down to truly, truly, truly show you the person that you're meant to be. And I was pretty nervous at first to be in a whole nother country. And, we weren't in the touristy part. We were in kind of like the hood part or the slums. So I was a little nervous, but everybody was very welcoming. So we went to the first clinic and they showed us around, they told us what we were going to be doing. And it was very exciting. And I was like, in my head, I'm just going to be able to just really just change these people and just be the best nurse that I can. And I'm just going to do all these great things in my head. And I'm just thinking just the world of myself. But like I said, it's funny. It's so funny when God has another plan for you. I was doing something as far as like texting my family, letting them know I made it safe. And for maybe literally 36 seconds, I put my phone down and I come back and it was gone. It was gone. Day 1, it was gone. And as you know, as a generation of people where phones are connected to our hands and we can't do nothing without them, I was losing my mind, literally. I was like, guys, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Like, everybody, where's my phone? And of course, the first thing that everybody on the mission trip wants to do is they want to pray about it. And I'm like, that's great, but I want to find my phone. So, while they're praying, I'm over here looking under tables, looking under desks, looking over here, asking the little kids, have you seen my phone? And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm asking the interpreters to interpret in Spanish. All my Spanish has gone out the window. I'm starting to cry now because I've lost my phone. I'm on a mission trip and I'm crying because I've lost my phone. And right then and there is when my actual transformation started. So, like I said, we looked for the phone for a while, but then there was nothing else we could do. I had to do the job that I was there to do. And the clinic was about to open, so we had to get ready for the patients to start coming. And when I mean they came in numbers. We saw about 80 to 85 patients a day in the clinics. And I mean, they were just flocking in from all over town to see the Americans who they thought had the healing hands. And of course, on my mind, I'm thinking, oh gosh, I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone to take a selfie right now so that I can take a selfie and show everybody that I'm here in Guatemala doing this, doing that with people who didn't have much. And I look back at it now and I realize how God had to literally disconnect me from everything that I thought that I needed to really show me why I became a nurse. He had to literally cut me off from everything and everybody, put me in his own special box and really shake me up to show me why he gave me the gift to have the healing hand, to be a nurse, to be a comforter, to be a protector, to be a provider. He really had to show me. And like I said, that's what started my 9-day transformation while I was in Guatemala. Slowly, little by little, I was listening. I was actually listening to the patients' stories, their testimonies, where they came from, how far they traveled, just to bring their neighbor, their grandmother, their neighbor's grandmother to the clinic to see us. Because they thought that we could truly, truly help. They thought that we truly had not just a cure for them, but they thought that we had something for them that would give them hope. And that's what it's about. It's truly about giving somebody hope, feeding their spirit and feeding their soul. And slowly but surely, I realized they were changing me. They were truly, truly changing me. Day after day, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, I was just able to really connect with each and every patient that I came across. And by the end of the trip, I didn't even realize that I didn't have a phone. And it didn't matter because I didn't need a phone. I had found everything in each and every one of my patients that I needed. So after that, the next day, day 2, we ended up going to like a community center in another town. We had to kind of travel up the mountain for a few hours actually, and it was pretty treacherous and pretty steep, and it was actually pretty scary because I thought the bus was going to tip over a few times. But they say you have to get to places that nobody else can get to in order to heal the people who need you. That's where we went. We went to a community center, and when we got to this community center, there were maybe 50 to 65 kids just waiting outside for us. And in my head, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we about to do? And that our guide tells us that we're going to end up washing every kid's feet and giving every kid brand new shoes and brand new socks. And of course, in my head, I'm like, that's great. That's wonderful. Do I really want to touch somebody's feet? And then he broke it down about how God did this to the disciples and how he washed their feet and cleansed them and, really cleansed their soul, and how it's a symbolization of cleansing their soul. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to go along to get along. And again, God will put you in a position to where you think that you have it all figured out and you have all the steps in line and you think that you know what you're going to do. But he truly, truly will break you down and show you what he can truly do. So we get in there and we're washing the kids' feet, and, I'm thinking, they don't know what we're doing and they don't know what's going on. But little did I know they did. So I start washing their feet, and slowly I look up at their little faces and they're just starting to smile, and just tears are coming to their eyes because they haven't had clean water ever. They've had shoes that have been passed down from mom and dad to sister to sister to brother to sister, and only one person can wear the shoe out that day. So if their feet were dirty, and us cleaning their feet just meant so much to them. Just having somebody else put their own hands on them, it meant so much to them. So little by little, as we started to wash the dirt off, wash the mud off, get their feet clean, nice and warm, get it out the cracks and everything, they started to just light up. And not only did they light up, it just brought joy to me, it brought joy to my soul, and it brought joy to everything that I was doing. And then when we brought out the socks and the new shoes, it was just over the top, and they absolutely loved it. Each one of them, sister, brother, mom, dad, everybody got a brand new pair of shoes, and they couldn't be more grateful for these shoes than somebody who may have just won $1 million. And you look in my closet or in some of my friends' closet, and we've got 13, 14, 50 pair of shoes that we may only wear once every 2 years. And they were so thankful for these shoes that somebody else had donated. It was just, it was mind changing. It really made you think about the things that you truly, truly need in life and the things that you truly, truly want in life. It just really made you differentiate of what is truly important and what is truly, truly necessary to survive, to honestly just to be a person. Like I said, as the week went on, things just continued to get better. God just continued to lift my spirits. God continued to show me things that I never knew about myself. He continued to let me hear testimonies from different people, from women, from men, from children, from grandmothers, abuelitas, everybody. And it was so life-changing. It sits in my heart now. And it's the reason that I can be the caring, sympathetic, empathetic nurse that I am today. It's the reason that I can look a mother in her eyes and tell her that I'm going to do everything in my power to save her child. It's the reason that I won't go eat. I won't go home. I won't go to the bathroom. I won't do anything until I know that my patient is safe, sound, and secure and has the most hope and the most spirit that they can have. So then at the end of the mission trip on day 10, we came home, and I'm sitting on the plane looking out the window on the way back, thinking about returning to life, returning to normal, right? Coming back to this beautiful, beautiful city that we live in with all this technology, all these machines that do everything for us. And I have to come back to the hospital and try to fit in. How do I do that? How do I fit in somewhere where I feel like I don't belong? But little by little, I asked God to really put my mind at peace, put me at peace, and let me truly not only just be a nurse of caring and of giving, but let me be a nurse of true spiritual healing, not only for the patients, but for the family. Let me be a nurse who is willing to go above and beyond. Let me be the nurse who is willing to care for my patient, not only the one that's in the bed, but the one that's sitting on the chair, the mom that's sitting at home with the other 3 kids. Lord, let me be the nurse that truly, truly can reach out my hands and truly, truly touch and hug the patient and the family. And ever since then, it's truly changed how I've been a nurse. It's changed how I practice as a nurse. And it's ultimately inspired me to go back to school to become a nurse practitioner so that I can make a difference with doing mission trips with other doctors and performing other surgeries across the country to help other people who are in need. That is my true life's mission. And I thank God for finally telling me why I'm here on this earth. So now, not only do I challenge you to do something that's outside of your comfort zone, I challenge you to do something that will expand you and that will honestly divide you from the person that's next to you. Separate you from the person that's across the street or the person that's sitting behind you. Do something that you truly, truly feel like will not only help you, but will help other people around you. When you start not only living for yourself, but living to help others, it truly changes who you are and it truly changes your soul. So like I just like to say to some of my mentees, a leader is not always somebody who has the most knowledge or who knows all the right answers. But a leader is somebody who is willing to step up and do something that nobody else wants to do or nobody else is willing to do. Somebody who is willing to take the brunt of the load, who is willing to go the distance, go the mile, and even if the outcome isn't always good, knows that they did everything that they could at the end of the day. The funny thing is, and the last funny part is, when I got home, my dad, of course I had told him I lost my phone, and I told him that I wasn't going to be able to call him during the mission trip. And he said, oh, okay, I'll call the insurance and we'll get it taken care of. So my dad picks me up from the airport on day 10 and we're driving home, and I get home and he tells me, oh, you got a package over there. And I was like, a package? I was like, what kind of package? He was like, oh, they sent you a new phone. I was like, a new phone? He's like, yeah, Verizon sent you a new phone. And I was like, I opened it up and there was a brand new phone. Like I had never lost it. I turned it on and it was already ready to go. And like I said, I look back at it now and I realize how God truly, when he shakes you up and he separates you from everything and anything that you know, listen and embrace it and really truly indulge yourself in it, because he is doing something in your life that you have no idea how it's going to affect you for the good. So when he separates you from friends, when he separates you from your family for a little bit, when he separates you from internet or from your phone, really truly not only embrace it, but look for what you can take out of it. Because like I said, when you reconnect, he wants you to reconnect as a whole new person, and not only as a whole new person, but a person that's willing to lead and bring somebody else into it too. That's it. That's it.
Ah, come on.
You're so silly. Was that good? Ah, I'm mic'd up. I'm still mic'd up.
Damn.
Was that good?